Hey Growing Zone kids, it's Pastor Jason, and we're on question 27 of the New City Catechism for Kids. The question is, are all people, just as they were lost through Adam, saved through Christ? Well, the answer is no. Only those who are elected by God and united to Christ by faith. This question's a little complicated, so let's see if we can figure it out together. Growing Zone kids, do you like art, like drawing or painting or that kind of thing? I'm not very good at it, but maybe some of you are. Imagine for a minute you're about to paint a picture. Well, how do you decide what you're going to paint? Or what color you're going to paint it? Or how long you're going to paint for? Are you going to paint a mountain, an elephant, a landscape, a flower, or an avocado? Who knows? How do you decide what you're going to paint? And then of all the things that you do paint, how do you decide which ones you're going to put on your wall and which ones just may sit in the closet for a while? So to decide this, do you just stare at your blank canvas until the canvas decides what you want to paint? No, that doesn't make any sense. The canvas doesn't get to decide. The paper doesn't get to decide what it's going to be. You get to decide because you are the artist. You made the art, so you get to decide what you're going to paint and what you're going to do with it. So this question makes us think, now if everybody has sinned and is separated from God, does that mean that Jesus saves also everybody in the same way? If everybody sinned, does everybody get saved? And the answer is no, not everybody is saved from their sin. The Bible clearly tells us that believing in Jesus, believing that he died on the cross to pay for your sins, and then he was raised to life again on the third day, believing in Jesus like that, that's the only way to get to God. That's the only way for our sin to be dealt with. Because remember, Jesus alone is our Redeemer. And the Bible tells us that belief in Jesus, the desire, the wanting to love Jesus and to accept him, that is a gift from God. And just like you as an artist get to decide what you're going to do with your paintings, God gets to decide who will believe in Jesus. So in a way, we're kind of like God's paintings. God made us, and we belong to God. And so God rightfully gets to decide who he will save. But it's also true that Jesus has died on the cross for everybody who would believe in him. So if anybody believes in Jesus, they get to have their sins taken away. God doesn't stop anybody from believing in him. But the Bible tells us that believing in Jesus is a gift from God. And so the people who don't believe in Jesus, that's their choice. They choose not to believe in Jesus, and they choose to be separated from God. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, that doesn't seem very fair. How come some people are saved and some are not? Well, let me put it this way. Do you want to know what fair would really be? Fair would mean that we are all separated from God and God saves nobody. God doesn't have to save anybody because we all chose to sin against God. That would be fair if God saved nobody. But that's not what God did. See, God loved people so much. He loves you so much that he sent Jesus for you and gives you the choice, the opportunity to believe in Jesus. That is a gift from God because he loves you. Okay, so I hope you understand so far. The Bible teaches that everybody has sinned and is separated from God. But the Bible also teaches that not everybody will be saved and have their sin taken away. Only those who love Jesus and who ask him to forgive their sins. And that desire, the wanting to love Jesus, that is a gift from God. And God gets to choose who will love Jesus. But that leads to another good question. Who does God choose to save? Does he choose to save the strongest people or the smartest people or the people that are the nicest? Well, no, that's not how it works. God doesn't choose us based on anything we've done or haven't done. God doesn't choose us because we're stronger or smarter or nicer. God chooses us because he chooses us. I don't understand it fully, but God gets to decide who he's going to choose. Let me see if I can explain it this way. Growing Zone kids, do you know what adoption is? Adoption is when a baby is born, but the mom and dad can't take care of the baby, and so the baby needs to go to a loving family who can take care of the baby. So the parents who are going to take care of the baby and adopt it into their family, do they choose the babies that are the smartest or the strongest or the nicest? Well, of course not. They're babies. They have no idea what the baby's going to grow up to be like. So why do they choose the baby that they choose? Simply because they love that baby. So I hope you know Jesus and love Jesus. And if you do, I want to remind you again that that is a gift from God. God didn't choose you to love him because you're better than anybody else, but he chose you just because he chose you. That's God's decision to make. I don't know why exactly he chooses to save some people and not others, but I do know he does it because he loves you and it glorifies him, which means it shows the world how awesome he is. And now that's good news.